What is up, Need for Speed Racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut. We're here today with the top 3 S-Class drag cars for both quarter mile and long track. I have a total of 4 different cars, but they slot into different orders depending on if you're doing the quarter mile stuff, which is PvP events, or if you're doing the free roam events, that's the longer tracks. And so I've got a different setup for those. Let's dig into it. We will start with the quarter mile list. Shout out to my man Jordy George. He runs the 242 and this is his livery. I pulled it off of him as a creator, and this thing gets it done in the quarter mile track. As always, big shout out to my man Tetsu. He helped me a lot with these. He is the resident drag racer in the Cornnut crew, and so he spent a lot of time on this. Check out his channel, links below. That was a picture of his channel right there. I mean, dude's a homie. Click on the card, go get it done. Okay, let's dig into it. Let me show you the build for the 242. It's, spoiler alert, damn near the same as the A+ class. Not a lot has changed. The engine that we use in this one is the 7.2 liter V8, 390 brake horsepower. When we start, is the Iron Basic engine. It is the 4th engine over, so we count 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the parts, you do Elite Platinum all of it with the Elite Platinum screw supercharger. No nitrous because it is drag racing. Elite Platinum road suspension, no brakes, and then you are going to run road tires, but they are Sport Bronze road tires. We didn't have room to put any higher tier. It just didn't work with the roads, and the roads are very good for the acceleration. Just the way to get the car down the track, this is the setup. You are going to run the Elite Platinum clutch, absolutely, so you get the most out of those shifts, but you are running the Sport Bronze 4-speed transmission, so make sure that you do down tier the transmission from one of the others, otherwise it's not going to run right. You can put the Elite Platinum diff in it if you want, but we're not using all of the handling sliders, so if you're balling on a budget, you can get away with just the Sport Bronze. You could probably run Iron Basic if you wanted, but I always tier that up just because I have a placebo effect and seem to think it's better. Auxiliaries don't matter, don't spend money there. Handling slider, 25% to the right. We're going 25% drift right there. Steering sensitivity does not matter. Downforce all the way low. That's going to give you the most acceleration for the least amount of downforce, and it's just the way to go. Traction control off. Drift entry is whatever because you're not drifting. Overall, that's going to give you a top speed of 197. That is why it is a quarter mile build or short track build, so you'll find those in the PvP drag racing playlist. 1201 on the horsepower, 1308 on the torque. The difference between this and the A+ is we have changed the tires and the suspension around a little bit, but overall it is a slayer, but it loses on the big end of the long tracks because it only goes about 200 with redline tech. All right, let me show you the next quarter mile build that I've got in the stack. The second car on the list is the Boss 302. It is the Slayer at S+, and it holds up really nicely at S. Let me show you the build. Now, here's the deal. This car is both good at the quarter mile, but also the long track. So it's kind of a mix and match. I think the 242 is the fastest quarter mile build. I think the Boss is second on the quarter mile. But being second on the quarter mile, you only lose to that one car, so it's pretty dominant, and it's very good on the long tracks, which is what you're going to find in all the PvP, or excuse me, the free roam playlists that you get invited to. So if I had to pick a one car to build out of this set, it's going to be this one because it gets both done very well. Let me show you. All right, the build on this one is the 6.3 liter V12, 1035 brake horsepower. When we start, it is way over down the list. I think it's 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is the 8th engine over. Elite Platinum. For the parts, it's Elite Platinum, all of it, because that's what it comes stock with, and then you were going to slap in the Elite Platinum screw supercharger. It's going to give you the most overall acceleration and torque, which is what you want on both the short track and the long track. No nitrous, that doesn't matter. You run Elite Platinum regular suspension, not the road, just the regular. You are going to put on basic iron tires all the way to the left. The stock ones it comes with, it can't take anything else. And those are better than if we were to put on the off-road tires. So overall, this is kind of like the happiest way to make it go down the track with the parts configurations. You do run an Elite Platinum clutch. That way you get the most out of that handling. When you're shifting through the gears, it gives you instant boost and acceleration. It's perfect. For this transmission, you are running the Silver Pro 6-speed transmission. We tried it with the 7. We tried it with the 5 because you can make these all fit depending on where you put the handling slider. The 6 is the best because you have a dead gear, which is 6th gear, so you can bump shift between 5 and 6. When you put in the 7-speed, you just now have 5, 6, and 7, but at the end of the day, it didn't make sense to have the 7-speed in it. So Go with the Silver Pro. That's where it's at. Elite Platinum differential doesn't really matter because you can get away with, I think, the bronze. Yeah, the bronze will give you 35% drift. For the handling, you're going to slide the slider to the right, 35% drift on that. Steering sensitivity does not matter. Downforce, 3 clicks to the right of center, so you count 1, 2, 3. That is S329. You'll see it right there. And that's where it's at in the class. It works really good. This is your all-rounder. It's going to be good for quarter mile, good for online. You probably won't lose to anyone unless you mess up your shifts. Let me show you the next car in the stack for quarter mile. Next car on the list, and then the car after that are both from MxgicIQ. Check out his channel, card over there. That's his channel on screen, link down below as well. He does a lot of Need for Speed content and then also some other shooter games. So if you've got a variety of things you like, he might have something else for you as well. Car's really good. He showed it in one of his top drag builds video he did on his channel. It's solid. I can't tweak it. I can't make this one any faster. So let me show you the build that I got from him. The engine that we use is the 2.9 liter V6, 505 brake horsepower when we start. Sport Bronze engine. It is the 7th engine over. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. For the parts, it is Elite Platinum, all of it for the first 4, and then you were going to put in the Elite Platinum single turbo. Gives you the most on the big end. This car being so light, it works just fine. No nitrous, Elite Platinum off-road suspension, no brakes, and then Sport Bronze off-road tires. Elite Platinum clutch, and then you are putting in the Elite Platinum 8-speed transmission. More gears, more better. That's how we do it. You are going to run at least the Silver Pro differential. You can run the Elite Platinum if you want to be bougie, but if you're balling on a budget, save yourself some money, get the Silver Pro. And then auxiliaries don't matter. Handling, slide the slider to the right, 65% drift, no steering sensitivity, downforce all the way low. Gives you the best on the acceleration side of things. Traction control off, drift entry does not matter. Gives you the Fairlady. 224 is the stated top speed. It does pretty close to 230 with good redline tech. You have 906 for your horsepower, 717 on the torque. It slays. This car is really good. I really like it. Let me show you the last car in another Nissan that I have for you. Last car on the list is the S15. Shout out to MxgicIQ. The build comes from him. I do change the transmission and the clutch. I'll explain that at the end, but the engine and everything else is identical. And definitely go check out his channel if you want to use his original build, because it definitely is a great way to set up the car. Let me give you the explanation on mine here in a moment. The engine that we use in this one is the 3.8 liter V8 hybrid, last engine in the stack, 903 brake horsepower when we start. That's the Elite Platinum engine. Shout out to OMG Surfy for this wrap. It looks dope on here. Surfy does some awesome wraps. For the parts, we do Elite Platinum induction, Elite Platinum ECU, and everything else because that's what comes in the car. You are going to swap out the forced induction and then do the Elite Platinum screw supercharger. It's going to give you the most grunt in the low end. No nitrous because it doesn't matter. And then we run Elite Platinum off-road suspension, no brakes, and then Sport Bronze off-road tires. Here's where I differ from IQ. I run the Elite Platinum clutch, and then I'm running the Elite Platinum 8-speed transmission, and then the Elite Platinum differential. Run the handling slider all the way out, 80% drift, steering sensitivity, nothing, downforce all the way low. It's going to give you the most acceleration opportunity available. The reason that I run the 8-speed is this, because IQ runs it with the 5-speed and the Super Gold clutch. So I've got a lot more gears than he does. My thought process is this, and I'm having trouble shifting perfect enough to actually prove it, but I think the theoretical fastest way to get this car down the track is with the 8-speed for this reason. In B class or A class, we get the Raptor and we bump shift. As you're bump shifting through the gears, every time you get a perfect shift, it gives you a small burst of acceleration in addition to the burst NOS that you receive, the yellow boost. And so you're basically getting perfect shifts until you get a 3-bar of yellow, you use it, you crazy accelerate, you go. But during each shift, you get this little micro burst of acceleration when you hit a perfect one. So if you do the 5-speed, you hit 5 of those. If you use the 8-speed, you hit 8 of those. So you get 3 more bars of nitrous. And so it's like a bar and a half, which you can only use 1. But you also get 3 extra little micro bursts of speed if you hit perfect shifts. So I think the theoretical fastest way down the track is with the 8-speed, but you have to hit all perfect shifts, and that's tough. So I can see a case being made for the 5-speed, but I'm going to tell you guys to do this one. So that's kind of the long runaround way of explaining to you this one's harder to drive, but I think it's faster. Cool. That's the S15. Shout out to IQ. I like it a lot. It's cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm very thankful to all of you. Please like the video if you haven't done that yet. That actually gets it in front of the algorithm. So just like click the button right down there. Or like, you know, thumbs up. Do whatever you do. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Golf is the fastest S Plus drag car, just so you know. Bye-bye.